Hey folks, Phil Gallagher here for the final round of daily D&T for this week. So as a reminder, we're still playing with Tetra versus List that you can see here. Check out the deck tech for Monday if you need more information than just that. And once again, I want to remind you that if you're enjoying daily D&T, please consider donating. $12 donation supports a week of these videos. And once again, thank you to Nathan S. for supporting this week's daily D&T. We're playing against Jake Shoes, with what I consider to be an unimpressive hand. This is a borderline mulligan. I'm going to keep it, but only because I'm on the draw, and so many draws improve this hand. So like a Mom, a Vial, a Thalia, a Stoneforge, all just turn this hand from garbage to quite good. That's my reasoning for keeping this hand. We're more or less hoping that we're playing against Delver, not Show and Tell here. But play patterns feel like Show and Tell. This is just to shuffle the Ponder. Snow-Covered Mountain is interesting. This is actually probably blue-red Delver now. JK. Current Theory has instead switched to blue-white-red Breach. In which case, I'll revoke LED on my turn. Ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Costs 3 mana to play a Breach, so opponent actually can't combo off through Thalia as of this turn. Jam. Force Pitch a Brainstorm. I'm actually very worried now, because I guess it was last turn, or my end step. They fetched this Tundra, while also having the ability to Ponder again, which shows me that they have a white card that they care about. So if I just get silenced through my turn, and then my opponent goes off, like, womp womp for me. Yep. Very little D&T can do about silence. Alright, that's just a brain freeze target themselves. Which hit LED, which is super unfortunate for me. Yep. So we are deterministically dead. In case you're not aware how this works, I'm going to go ahead and explain the combo to you. So they use 3 cards to get 3 mana with Underworld Breach. They then brain freeze themselves to continue to put more cards into the graveyard. Using that mana, they then go and replay LED. They've generated enough cards via brain freeze that they can deterministically go infinite here. And since we already know like which version of the deck my opponent is playing, I'm going to go ahead and concede here the win is deterministic. So you remember that giant pile of cards from the beginning of the week that I was talking about? Chalice, Cage, Surgical, Deafening Silence, Rest in Peace. All of those come in here, and they are all very, very good. Our Swords to Plowshares come out. Our Jitte comes out. Our Palace Jailer comes out. We get 2 more cuts from there. Stoneforge can very easily come out. And probably a Mirroring Crusader as well. You've got some flexibility in how you sideboard here, because a lot of your cards basically don't matter in the matchup. While this hand is great, I don't actually do anything that stops my opponent from comboing off. I just Vial, then port them. And it's not until turn 4, as of right now, that I have something that interacts with them. I get turn 3 interaction outside of port, but I think I can just like mulligan towards a Chalice hand or something like that. Yikes. This is basically the same hand as last time around. I might need to keep this one. Like, this is a very strong 6-card hand, and the difference between this one and the last one is I have guaranteed turn 3, like Thalia or Revoker or something like that, outside of silence draws. So I'm going to keep this, but it is a begrudging keep. A lot of top decks that make this one better. But we're not happy about this. So even as something as simple as my opponent just like going fetch land go for their turn disrupts my hand, because I'm banking on being able to tap down their land on my turn 2. All right, the worst case scenario did not happen, which is great for me. In all likelihood, this prevents them from going off this turn. Although, land, Lotus Petal, Breach, LED, Brain Freeze. Land, Lotus Petal, Breach, LED, Brain Freeze. That 5-card sequence would allow them to go off this turn. Bottom with Preordain. Good news for Phil fans. We're not dead. That's insane. So we'll cast this, and it just resolves. It's amazing for us. That's a must-answer card, or my opponent can't go off. And then we're going to have Recruiter coming down shortly to muck with my opponent even more. I'm going to go ahead and get the threat here. I don't think I'm at the point where I can safely... Ooh-wee! I think I'm not gonna play anything in my turn. I'm very sure of that. If my Deafening Silence does not get bounced during my turn, I will just Rishadan Port once and put Batterskull in. We're just going to get Sanctum Prelate here. The reason being that it's something that I can play uncounterably off of Vial and not expose myself to a counter spell. What's this indicative of? Not expecting like green into Crossing Grip or anything. So I think I let this resolve. I'm not sure what this fetch is for at this timing. Are they just going to silence me? No. Strong. So a 1 will stop Enlightened Tutor Force Serenity, and it will also stop the blue bounce enchantment thing. So even though 1 is one of the weaker numbers to put this on in the matchup, contextually speaking, I think 1 is pretty strong here. Just like every out we eliminate towards Deafening Silence is just stronger and stronger. Well, that is a little unfortunate, but that is what it is. So now we just need to keep my opponent from playing the Breach in the first place. My Sanctum Prelate is not particularly a hate card anymore. It's stopping my opponent from cantripping, but it does not actually stop Breach, LED, or Brain Freeze, which are the cards that win them the game. I have my opponent on a 2-turn clock with double Rishadan Port and 2 hate cards in play, so I think everything's fine. But there's a very real fear of this deck. And my opponent concedes. We get to a game 3 scenario. I don't think anything's going to change about how I boarded. On the draw, though, definitely will not be looking to ride a Rishadan Port hand to victory like we did that time around. I'm really going to need 1 or more of these cards in hand. And preferably, it's Chalice, Deafening Silence, or Surgical, and one of the others. A turn 1 play from me is pretty important towards winning this matchup. Sorry, Cage, I left you out. So we have 14 cards that we're looking to. The Prelates are probably too slow on the draw for them to be the primary reason why I keep a hand. Yikes. Surgical is a piece of interaction, but the rest of my hand is straight garbage. So I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this one. Keep. Actually. The Wisp is worse. So we have our best card in the matchup and the ability to play it, plus a very good follow-up spell. And we spiked the land. Serenity? Nope, Preordain. So the Scalding Tarn fetch is just to get the other cards away, and that was 1 bottom, 1 top with their Preordain there. Thalia is okay in this matchup, but my opponent can still technically go off through a Thalia. Alright, opponent has answered 2 hate cards so far. So we're definitely scared. We are not naming the onboard Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal isn't really enough for them to go off in most cases. At least not with a graveyard the size of this. We're going to name the LED here, which is just going to be more powerful in a vacuum. Third hate card answered. Well, you can't say we didn't try here. Opponent is not currently showing the ability to go off. So let's see, they can go 1, 2, 3, pedal, 1, 2, 3, pedal, re-brain freeze. The pedal may be good enough. I don't 100% know the math from here. It's certainly good enough if they find LED. And they did find LED. So we are dead. That's super unfortunate. I mean, we played three hate cards, turns 1, 2, and 3, and it was not good enough. This is why I'm so scared of the Breach deck. It's very, very powerful. You know, imagine that we had that same sort of sequence against something like Ant, right? They can't just afford all the random like Force of Wills, Swords to Plowshares, and things like that to answer those cards once they're in play, whereas this deck can. And a lot of times their Enlightened Tutors can either find a combo piece or find an answer to one of your problematic permanents. So the deck is very, very strong, and this is why a lot of the Death and Taxes sideboards are so warped towards beating combo at this point. Alright, so kind of my overall impression of D&T in the current metagame is that it is not one of the better choices, but it's fine. We took 2 losses this week. One of them was to a quad Delver start, like, okay, we're not beating that. The other was to this deck, which we are very much not favored against. You know, even with that extra pile of hate that we had, we played a ton of interactive cards, but it just was not enough. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll be back next week. Cheers.